And then they're like, oh shit, because then she opens the door and the thing they see is themselves. And they're like, oh, shut her down, shut her down. And then she starts coming in there, chat, and she just starts blasting. She starts blasting the computer guy. She blasts the guard chef. She blasts the guy that was just standing there. Hello, I just wanted to thank you for clicking on my video, and I wanted to let you know not only do I create content in my YouTube channel here, Class in a Glass, but I'm also on Twitch where I play single-player games, multiplayer games. I do movie reviews, cartoon reviews, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Also, it would be a big help if you can check out my Patreon, where you can gain access to audio commentaries, reactions, and the ability to submit questions for my podcasts and videocasts. And all that content can be found in the links below. In the meantime, enjoy the video. Let's start the nitty-gritty details, chat. It is the future. It is the future, chat, and the Earth is fucked, okay? Remember in Resident Evil Apocalypse when they, in Raccoon City, they blew it up and shit, chat, and they exterminated the virus, okay? There's no more virus. Wrong! It got out, chat, and it just infected the entire world. Within weeks, the entire North American, South American continents were overrun by the Zombinos, and then all the other Zombinos, chat, they go out there, and they just started infecting it. By the way, the virus also started to affect the flora, and so the Earth has become a desert wasteland, chat. This movie is like if you took the directorial sensibilities of Paul W.S. Anderson, chat, and Resident Evil, like the games, and mixed it with Mad Max. That is Resident Evil: Extinction. That's what you got. So this zombie virus spread. A lot of people got infected, chat. Millions upon millions, if not billions of people were infected. And the planet just got, it's like, I'm fucking out. And it just dried up, chat, to a cinder. And most of the, land masses across the world are desert. They're very desert-like, chat, or frozen tundras. Maybe up north they're like frozen tundras. And so it's like, it's not great. It's not great, chat. And good old Mila Jovovich, she's narrating all this stuff, chat, catching up. And it's like, she's like, this is the way it is. And then, boom, it cuts, it hard cut, chat. And we see Mila Jovovich, chat. She's in the shower from the first one. She's in the shower, chat. She's nude, artistically nude, chat. There's no nips. There's no ass. There's there's nothing, none of that. None of that's there, chat. She's got a nice little shower curtain covering everything. And she comes to, and it's just like the original film, chat. She goes up to it. She fucking rubs the fucking mist, the stuff that's on the condensation that's on the mirror, chat. She looks at herself. She's like, I'm confused. She sees a nice little bathrobe on, a nice little white bathrobe on. She puts that on, chat. She walks out and she's back in the Resident Evil 1 mansion. And she's like, what the hell's going on? And she's walking around, chat. She's like, oh, spooky things are like moving in the background, but she just misses it, chat. No, as we all know, no one has peripheral vision in these movies. It's just like you're like a horse. You're like, you see this? And you see this. That's absolutely it. Nothing else, chat. And she notices on this very lavish king-size bed, chat, where she had the hot, sweaty sex with her husband who betrayed her in the first movie. Thank you, Bad Shields, for another 5 biddies. Well, think about myself. This series of films inspired me when I was younger to start writing what? In the series of books I'm developing to this day. That is awesome, Bad Shields. I forgot to do this, chat, but I'll do this in honor of you, Bad Shields, and also in the chat. May the wings of liberty never lose a feather. You're shaking the pillars of heaven as we speak. No, go write your stories, Bad Shields. That's awesome. I'm glad that like this series was a cool, creative inspiration for you. That's really nice to hear, man. Cheers. Cheers and salute. Well, it's good, chat. I like that orange soda. Steve, I love the nod to the OG games when it cuts to the door and reveals the laser hallway. Well, it's funny you say the OG games, man, because that originally came from the movies, and that scene was then incorporated into the films. That was so funny. Thank you, Ro, for the host. No, thank you for the support, guys. Really do appreciate that. Yeah, like the laser hallway from 4 was inspired by the Resident Evil 1, the film. So it's nuts, but yeah, people always say, oh, that came from the games. They actually came from the movies. So that was one positive thing that the movies had an effect on, in terms of the games. But chat, she's walking around and shit, and then she sees, oh, there's a fucking clock. The clock opens. I'm gonna go inside the clock, and she walks inside the clock, chat, and she's in the laser room. It's the laser room again. That's from the first movie. And she's like, this is weird. And she walks down to chat, and then the fucking door shut. She's like, uh-oh. And she turns around, and she's getting these flashes, too. She's getting these flashbacks, chat, of the original film and her experiences and everything. She remembers the laser. Remember when the guy got cubed. She remembers that, chat. And then the lasers pop out and it's the cube. It's like the grid is coming right out. She's like, oh my God, no. But the thing is, chat, she jumps up just in the nick of time. It's like, why didn't that guy jump up in the nick of time? And she's now in a shaft, chat. She's in like one of those air ducts. She's in an air duct, kind of like Die Hard. And she's climbing through this like Bruce Willis shit on her hands and knees and everything like that. And she pops out. And now she's in the hospital from Resident Evil 2. It's like, Jesus Christ. And she gets more Resident Evil 2 flashback. It's awful. And so she's kind of confused. And she's moving around and shit. And it's like, oh, there's the entrance out. But she's like, my Mila Jovovich senses are tingling. And she takes this little hospital gurney chair and she's pushing it forward. And boom, it gets sliced in half by like a blade hitting the floor. She goes, oh my God. And so that scared her, chat. But activated the trap, so it's done now. And she continues walking forward, chat. But oh no, her foot steps on a pressure pad. She goes, uh-oh. And this little thing in the middle of the umbrella, like this insignia, chat, from the floor, poof, pops up and just begins shooting in a circle. And she goes, boom, right in the tum-tum. She gets a big old hole in her tummy, chat. She falls down, starts bleeding out, and dead. She's dead. And then the thing from her peripheral vision she couldn't see earlier, chat, is a guy in a hazmat suit. And he's joined by like two other guys. And this hazmat suit, man, he kneels down and he takes off his helmet, chat. And it's goddamn Lord Friendzone from Game of Thrones. You know, the one who's always lusting after Daenerys? It's him. It's Lord Friendzone, chat. And he's like, put it with the others. Nothing we can do about it. Next, and he's like, next, what are you talking about? And then, chat, we see these guys, these other hazmat guys, and they take up the body, and it's like, oh, it looks like we're in a desert environment. It's like a desert shed. And this futuristic elevator like parts this crap in the middle of the floor, and they rise up, chat, and they go out there, and it's like, oh, where are they? Somewhere, I guess as we all know, the United States and most of the world is now a desert environment, and so they're living underground now. It's like, that's kind of cool. So there's some semblance of civilization, chat, but we have gone subterranean. We're like the mole people. We're the mole people now, and so they take her out to this kind of like crevasse, and they dump her body in there, chat, and oh, shock. There's a twist. There's a bunch of other Alice bodies, a bunch of other Mila Jovovich's, chat, and they've all been killed kind of in the same way. They all got shot in the tum-tum. They got lasered. There's cubes of Mila Jovovich. There's like sliced up Mila Jovovich. She looks like a salami, chat. There's salami Mila Jovovich. They're gone. And then, oh, spooky, because then a zombie pops up, and now all these zombies have amassed around this chain link fence. I love with Umbrella, chat. Like, Umbrella has all this advanced technology, chat, but the one thing that's preventing this massive horde of zombies is just about, I don't know, like a 10-foot chain link fence. I just thought that was so fucking funny. Like, not these massive walls, these concrete, walls, obelisks. No, fucking chain link fence. They're like, okay, even Umbrella, even in this post-apocalyptic time that we're living in, chat, Umbrellas, they're hard on money, too. They're like, listen, it's getting hard out there. Yes, we will greenlight your experiment for a tentacle hentai man. We'll allow that, okay? We're Umbrella, after all. We stand by those hentai people, okay? But when it comes to defenses, the best we can do is chain link fence. So that's what you got to rock, okay? And so it's like, oh, my God. It's crazy. And then we cut back inside the facility, chat, and good old Lord Friendzone, he's late to a meeting. He's got to get to a meeting right now, chat. And he pops on in there, and who's sitting at the head of the table? Goddamn Albert Wesker, chat. Albert Lenny Wesker sitting right there. And he's like, oh, things could be better, guys. You got all these other talking heads on here. The Japanese, like, they got the South American facility, like, they got 27% food left. The African facility only got 17% food left. And Albert, he's like, listen, we got to make some progress on this research. Lord Friendzone, what can you tell us? Lord Friendzone's like, listen, it's hard. It's hard. Listen, I need the original subject, okay, in order, because that's what they're trying to do, chat. They're trying to basically recreate Alice, Mila Jovovich, because using her DNA, they can blend it with the T virus, and that could possibly be used as a cure and to eliminate all the zombies on the planet, and then they can rise from their subterranean strongholds, and it's not working. It's not working, so they've started resorting to, like, clones, and they're not as good as the original Mila Jovovich. And he's like, I really need just to, start doing like weird experiments. And Albert Wesker's like, listen, man, I will greenlight a hentai man in a second, but I can't let you be killing all these Alices, okay? We got a short-term supply, so I will not greenlight your experiments. He's like, please, Albert Wesker, he says, I will not, okay? We have complete global saturation. He says the line, Chad. It's very funny. I won't do it. And Lord Friendzone, he's very upset by the situation. He's like, He's like, what am I going to do? I wish Alice was here. And then, boom, we cut. We cut, and we're following Mila Jovovich. Matthew, thank you. Prepare yourselves. My GF is about to jizz over Wesker. Jesus. All right, do it. This as I said, Chad, this is not a kink shaming stream, so you can get off to whoever you want to get off to. And so, Chad, we cut to Mila Jovovich, and she is on a motorcycle, and she's driving down the highway, Chad. It's all deserts and shit. It's not looking good. And she's talking about how she's been by herself for a couple years, Chad. She left the original group in Resident Evil 2, which, by the way, I will tell you, so in the movie, they don't acknowledge why she left the group. She kind of goes like, they were tracking me. You guys knew they took control of me and tracking me. In the novel version, there's something absolutely shocking, which would have been a really cool thing to add this film, chat, because it's like, what happened in this character? We'll get to it. We'll get to it in a hot second. And so she's driving down the road, chat, and she's pretty much, she's Mad Max. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. She is Mad Max, chat. She's Furiosa. She's Furiosa in the North American wasteland. Katie, thank you. Wesker is fine. Hey, he's a good-looking, slimy salamander, man. I understand. You know, he's got, well, he wears sunglasses inside, which is, that's kind of, I mean, he just wears them. It's like, why are you wearing them inside, dude? Oh, by the way, fucking Albert Wesker and the other guys are holograms, too. They're holograms. So when they say meeting adjourned, they all teleport back. Steve, thank you for the minis. Hey, you read the novel, too, Juicy? Nerd. No, I read the Wikipedia page. I was like, what? You didn't have this? I did a little history of this film, Jeff. And so she's driving down the highway, and she gets a little thing on her radio, chat. She's very much the Mad Max, the wasteland, looking for that guzzling. She's Furiosa. She's actually Furiosa, chat. And she hears something at the KTBT studio. We need some help. Please, someone help us. We're at the KTBT studio. And she's like, all right. And so she parks her little motorcycle, chat. She's like right outside of, she's right inside Salt Lake City, kind of on the outskirts of Salt Lake City. She parks her, chat. She goes inside, and KTBT Studios does not look very good, chat. She sees this woman. She sees this huddled mass, chat. She's like, oh, my baby. And she's like, she pulls her, she's like, I'm too smart for this, okay? I know a trap when I see it. That's bait. And she goes on over, chat. She's got her pistol. And this woman, she's like, oh, thank God you're here, please, my baby, help my baby. And Mila Jovovich goes, oh, baby! She's so excited. It's like, yeah! And so she takes the baby, chat. It's, oh my God, it's not a baby, chat. It's a creepy-looking doll. And she drops it. And the woman goes, you dropped my baby, bitch. And then all of a sudden, chat, Mila Jovovich is attacked. She's attacked by some guys. And they're on top of her, chat, and they're holding her prisoner. And the woman, chat, she does have children, but it's all these weird inbred-looking guys. And she says, I'm going to let my sons put a baby inside you. It's like, Jesus Christ, like they're about to rape her right now, chat. You got this one guy, is like, let's look at the goods. And Mila Jovovich, she's like, you don't want to do that. He goes, oh, yes, I do. And right before he was trying to do something very nasty, chat, she fucking kicks him so goddamn hard that his neck just snaps, the teeth all go over, they just clatter on the floor, chat, hits all the, falls back, smashes his head on some concrete, and the mom's like, oh my God, she killed him! Fuck her, throw her to the dogs! And so they knock her out, chat, and they throw her in this pit. They throw her in this big old pit. The pupper pit, as I call it the pupper pit. And they start throwing shit at her and stuff. It's like, wake up, bitch! And she comes to, chat. And she starts like, because they also throw her the keys, which in hindsight was a bad decision on their part. Save yourself. She grabs the keys, chat. But we realize, oh no, in the cages right next to her, there are zombie puppers, chat, the dogs, like from Resident Evil 1. And they're like, all right, open up the cages. And so they open up the pupper cages, chat, and they all go after Mila Jovovich. But little do they know, chat, that Mila Jovovich has the powers of slow motion. And so using her slow motion ability, chat, and also telekinesis, because they established in the movie she has telekinetic powers. And she kind of uses them here. She's able to do many flippy jumps, chat, in slow motion. The dogs they just fucking hitting the concrete walls. There's no chance, chat. She stabs a whole bunch. They got like a lot of zombie puppers in here. And eventually, She wraps. They also a lot of exposed wiring in this place, which is not very smart. And eventually, Chad, she pretty much like manages to wrap exposed wiring around these dogs and wraps them all around a pillar. They all get. Remember like how a dog would get confused and they wrap around like a tree or something. They say, "Oh, I don't know what to do." They start panicking. Remember that, Chad? It's fucking hilarious. I love when they do that. And what happens is, Chad, that pillar is right above the weird inbred hillbilly family, and the dogs they start pulling on the pillar and everything. Oh no, it comes down. It comes down. Dogs, I think, with 5 bitties. You mean her Mary Sue Plummer? Listen, man. I mean, she is pretty much a god in this movie. I will say, though, some of her powers are pretty goddamn cool. I'm like, you know what? Just fucking go with it. Just go with it. Embrace it. I don't even... It doesn't matter to me anymore. I mean, they are so... they are so far from the games at this point. It's like, I mean, just do what you want to do. I hated the fact that these movies had a negative influence on the game at this point, on the series. They absolutely did. That's what we got, 5 and 6 and stuff, and all those other spin-offs were shit. So I'm glad that influence is ended, Chad. The last thing I want, but it's like, all right, fucking, she has telekinetic, telepathic powers, whatever. I'm going on for the ride, Chad. I'm already belted in here. I can't move, so I just gotta let all this hit me in the face, Chad. But she brings down this pillar. She starts running up there, Chad. Flippy jump, CGI, slow motion, and the pupper's like, shit, we can go up there too. And they begin consuming and mauling the hillbilly family. And they're all eating the mom. She's getting her face ripped off. The hillbilly guys, each one's getting their genitals removed, Chad. The dogs, it's the first thing they go for. They know you're not going to use these again for evil. Absolutely not. And the dogs they're like, hey, thank you. You gave us a meal. And she just takes all her weapons, Chad. And she gets back in her fucking motorcycle, and she heads off, Chad. But oh no, she's out of gasoline. So she's like, I got to stop at a gasoline shop, at a little stop station. And we see this one scene, which is actually a fun scene. We see this one zombie. His name is Stevie, Chad. You can see his name tag, Stevie. Good old Stevie the zombie. And she's looking through like the scope on a crossbow. See, before even goddamn what's his name from the Walking Dead, Daryl. Even before Daryl, Chad. It was Mila Jovovich who was rocking the crossbow in the zombie film. And so she has this crossbow, Chad, and she reads his name. Is like, sorry, Stevie. And she shoots him. I thought that was kind of cool. Shoots him so goddamn hard, Chad, that it pins his head to the back of a car. That's a powerful arrow. And she disassembles the crossbow. I was like, I would have grabbed the crossbow. That's one thing that goddamn Daryl always did. In the show, he would always take the crossbow bolts because you need those. You don't want to waste them. Norman Reedus, Chad, that's his name, Norman Reedus. And but she goes in there, Chad. And she's looking around. There's not a lot of stuff in there. It's not good. But she gets her telekinetic senses are tingling. And I feel something. And she I don't know. And this is weird. She senses something. She opens up a door. We're actually a really cool scene here. I was like, this is kind of interesting. She opens the door, and just this fucking huge cloud of flies is buzzing around this. Looks like a hunk of meat. It's a dead body. And she goes, oh. It's actually a really effective scene. You're like, see, the thing is, Chad, the Resident Evil series is not subtle. Both games and movies. Movies less so. But like here was actually subtle because they didn't show like the whole body and it all rotting and everything shitting falling out or attacking her. You just saw this thing's kind of like lower calves and feet, but this huge massive fly. So you knew exactly what it was. And it was actually an effectively creepy scene. I actually really liked this part. It was like, you know what? There's some cleverness here, and I'm glad they felt a little restrained in this moment. I like this anyway. And she's like, but then Chat, she senses is a book. She's like, the book. My book senses. She has book senses too, Chat. She takes the book and she gets out of there, Chat, and she sees all these things inside the book. It's like this guy who hung himself. He was obsessed. He was like trying to get radio signals, Chat, and he was obsessed of going to Alaska because apparently, Chat, there are no infected people in Alaska. There is apparently civilization up there. There are strongholds that are proliferating and providing resources. They basically established civilization there, Chad. She's like, that sounds fucking cool. Can't wait to go up there. And then, Chad, we cut. She's like, this is exciting. And then we cut, Chad, and we're following a caravan of sorts. And who's in charge of this caravan, Chad? Claire motherfucking Redfield, Chad. The baby sister of Chris Redfield. She's no baby, all right? She's a badass, Chad. And good old, this is, and they call it Claire Redfield's Caravan. That's the name of it. It's like, listen, I'm the leader. You're going to call this. This is named after me. And she's also joined by some familiar faces, chat. We got fucking Carlos Oliveira, chat, famously, was most recently featured in Resident Evil 3 Remake, which I actually liked what they did with him in that game. I thought it was fun. I wanted more of him, honestly. I wanted more of him. But then we got Carlos from Resident Evil 2, who was kind of like one of the better actors in that movie. He's back here, chat. This is what he's doing after the events of Resident Evil 2. He's with Claire Redfield. And, chat, because I know you're asking for it, like, what happened to this character? Mike Epps is also there, chat. Mike Epps is also there, and he is still cracking the jokes. He's still having a good time. Honestly, I'll tell you this. Mike Epps does a good job in this movie. You'd be like, oh, how? Really? He does. Because, I mean, listen, there's some questionable acting and dialogue, mostly coming from Mila Jovovich in the film. But Mike Epps, they give him enough to do, and it's subtle. He does a really shitty thing in this movie, but it's like, okay, this is good. Like, he's actually good in the movie, chat. You know, he's good. He does a good job. And they have this caravan, chat, and like the school bus is filled with all the younger members of the caravan, all these children and the sick and elderly, chat. They're all in there, and they're just kind of doing the whole. It has a kind of similar tone initially to Zombieland, where like the drivers of the cars are like keeping score when they're hitting like the zombies on the road and stuff. Like the bus driver is like, oh, that was a good one, and he's entertaining the kids and stuff. It's like, okay, I kind of like this. So they're establishing a sense of rapport, a sense of community among this caravan. I was like, this is kind of cool. This is kind of cool. And there's like this back and forth where everyone's like, you got any smokes? We're fresh out of smokes. There's no cigarettes, which actually in hindsight is good for you. You shouldn't smoke, Chad. It's bad. It's bad. You can get the lung disease. And they're like, I don't have any smokes for you. I'm sorry. And they're all very upset by it. But this traveling caravan, they're just going from place to place, Chad. I mean, they've gone all across the United States. Now they're kind of in Utah. I guess they're in Utah right now. And they're going to stop at, they're looking, Chad, at this one place. It's this little motel. And it's like, maybe we can get maybe there's some food there. Maybe we can get some gasoline out of these cars or something. And we can continue on our journey. And so they pull up there, they scope it out, and they're like, cool, all right. So Carlos and Mike Epps, they're going to go investigate, chat. They open up this place. They each go their separate ways. Mike Epps, this is a good scene. It's actually quite tense. Mike Epps is trying to open up all these doors, chat. And he's like, can't do it. Can't open all these doors. He goes to one room, chat. But as I said before, dumb. No one has any peripheral vision. And he is instantly attacked out of sight, chat. I mean, he could see it if he didn't have his hands like this. From the side, chat. A zombo tries to get him. A zombino. And it's not on, chat. But Mike Epps, he's no longer the coward. He's no longer just the comedic relief shit. He's kind of a badass. And he shoots these things because it's hard for him. Because like, he's trying to hold this thing at bay. And these zombies are strong. These aren't like ones that that are like brittle and squishy. Now, they still got a lot of mass on them, chat. They're dummy thick. Dummy thick zombies. And like this thing's trying to get at him, chat. And so he manages to shoot its kneecaps out and it fucking folds in on itself. Then he shoots it. He's like, whoo, that was a tough one. That was a tough one. And then he sits on the bed chasing, I need a break. And then but he notices, chat, oh no, there's a zombie. Oh, the zombie like notices him is coming right for him from the bathroom. He goes, and he shoots it. But it wasn't the zombie, chat. It was the zombie's reflection from the bathroom. And it's the zombie lady, Chad, crawls on top of him and begins attacking him. But thank God, Carlos comes out of nowhere to save Mike Epps, shoots him. And Claire Redfield's like, hey, we heard some shooting there. Everything's okay. He's like, it's secure. And it's like, thank God. And Mike Epps is like, thank you so much, Carlos. And they all secure in the area, chat. They're unloading all their stuff. They're getting the dinners ready and everything, getting out the rations and stuff. And we see little Mike Epps, chat. He's sitting in the motel lobby. And Betty, who is their kind of nurse, field physician, she comes over there. And Betty and Mike Epps, they're in a little bit of a relationship chat. It's like, oh, that's kind of sweet. She comes on over, and they're kind of flirting and joking about, like, oh, what do you want to eat tonight? Oh, I thought a romantic dinner over pork and beans. Like, honestly, chat, like Mike Epps and this actress who played Betty, I forget her name. She's not in the movie long, but she does a good job, in my opinion. Let me get some respect to her, chat. Where's good old Betty? Where's Betty? Her name is just Ashante. Her name is Ashante Douglas. And I like the report, chat. And she's like, you're going to be okay. Just a few nicks and bruises. You're good. He's like, yeah, I'm fine. And she walks off, chat. But, Mike Epps is not fine because he lifts up his shirt, chat. And there is a big old chew mark on his tummy. This thing got Mike Epps, chat. And he just lowers the shirt and says, well, since nobody saw it, I'm going to be A-okay. It's like, dude, the world you've been living in for years. She's a singer. Listen, guys, you know I'm ignorant when it comes to music. Come on, you know me. She did a good job here. But it's like, the world, you should tell the group that you have been bitten and are infected. Okay, it's time. You know you're gonna die. All right, so don't hide this. Don't like keep it a secret. You know what the stakes are here. You could be a danger to everyone else. I know. He made a very poor decision, chat, and it. Honestly, it cost someone their life later on in the movie. And I'm like, I'll never forgive you, Mike Epps. I'll never forgive you. Oh, Ashante. Thank you. No, thank you for the correction. That's why you guys are here to correct me. Ashante. She does a good job. Ashante, I'm going to call her Betty for the sake of convenience. Does a good job, chat. Cheers. And so they're all loading all the shit. And the bus driver is actually very funny because he has this whole bit, chat, where he's able to shake a fucking can. He knows exactly what's in it. Pork and beans. Goddamn corn, cream corn. You got beef stew. That's a good one. Beef stew. That's a nice hearty meal. And he's like, cat food. He gives the cat food to the kid. He's like, I'm just joking. It's not cat food. Walks off. That was definitely cat food. And then eventually he's like, all right, he goes to Clara. Feels like, how are we doing on food? Like, that's all the food we have. So we got to find some place that has food. It's just not going good. They're like, what are we going to do? It's a difficult situation that we have right now. Eventually, chat, though, we cut back to good old Mila Jovovich, and she's camping in the desert right now. Looks like a storm's a brewing. Storms are coming, chat. Maybe you'll get some rain, get some natural water. That'd be good. You need it. You need that, chat. But she's like, I'm sleepy, and she goes to sleep, chat. She goes ahead and she goes to sleep. Eventually, we cut back to the secret facility. Where Lord Friendzone, he's doing some sort of experiment, chat. We don't know. With one of the Alices, it's like she's in a big old bubble. She's like in a big old raindrop. And he's sensing there's some psychokinetic, telekinetic, I don't know, vibrations or some shit coming from her body. And he's like, all right, whatever. And also, there's a little CGI girl in the movie, chat. It's called the White Queen. It's like the, kind of like the other version of the Red Queen from the first movie. Now we got the White Queen. And she's not as mean as the original, though. And he's helping her out and shit. But then we cut back to Alice, chat, because then, we're seeing her telekinetic abilities firsthand. The things like rocks and pebbles and shit are raising up into the air. It's like, whoa, that's cool. And her motorcycle raises up into the air. And then she gets all these flashbacks. It's like, bad movies. And everything falls to the ground, chat. She's like, she's just like pointing her gun at shit. And her motorcycle falls to the ground, chat, and it just explodes. It just explodes. She goes, fuck. And she's like, she sits back down, chat. She's like, this is just not my night. And eventually she's like, all right, I'm just going to go ahead and walk through the desert. I'm just going to walk through the desert at this point. What does it matter? And maybe I'll find She also hears on the radio that the Claire Redfield caravan is nearby. She's like, maybe I'll go see these people. See how they're doing. But then, we cut back to the facility again. And good old Lord Friendzone, he hears from the White Queen that there was some telekinetic activity. And he's like, from Subject 87? He's like, no, from outside. He's like, what do you mean from outside? Fucking telekinetic activity from Alice. She's apparently like 10 miles away. He's like, are you fucking serious? She goes, yeah, I'm fucking serious, bro. He's like, whoa, that's cool. Also, he does some other weird experiments, chat, because they're still like, okay, at this point, Albert Wesker said, listen, if we can't find a cure, let's at least try to make the zombies like slaves. Can you make zombie slaves for me? That's kind of like evil. That's more my speed than a cure. Let's make zombie slaves. And Lord Friendzone's like, all right. And so he starts ejecting stuff into the zombies, chat. They get one zombie, and this one is pretty much, this is straight out of Day of the Dead, chat. Bob, remember Bob the zombie? This is straight out of Day of the Dead, where they inject all this stuff into this guy, and he's like, seems to be, this is not bad. And they give him a phone, he's like, phone. He's like, phone. He's like, whoa, look at this guy, because Lord Friendzone's in a room with two other guys. Like, he fucking recognized the phone, and they give him a camera, because this is the 2000 chat, and like no one, the phone and the camera was like not a thing, so they give him like a little camera, and he goes, fucking camera. Camera. He's like, whoa, this zombie's smart. And then they give him a good old little building, like they give him that like toddler toy where you put the shapes in the thing on top, chat. And he starts like, fucking shape, circle, fucking square. He's like, he's having a ball, chat. Bob's having a ball. Steve, fun fact. Y'all, Charlie Clouser did the score for this movie. He did the music for the Oscar-winning Saw films. Oh, interesting. I know Saw won an Oscar. That's cool. What did he win an Oscar for, Steve? Practical effects, I imagine? It was something like that? Special effects? I guess I could see that. Yeah, I mean, makeup probably. Makeup, right? I could see him winning makeup. And so, chat, fucking Bob the Zombie's having a fucking ball. He's doing a good. He's like, fucking square, fucking circle, goddamn rectangle, chat. Good old rectangle. But when he gets to that triangle, though, they're like, uh-oh. He's like, triangle? Oh, I hate triangle. And he fucking freaks out. Bob the Zombie fucking freaks out. He hates triangles. And then this poor schmuck, he grabs him, chat. This is also like Bob is like very, very strong, too. He's very thick. Bad shield thing with the 5 minis. Hey, man, those toys are hard. Even play with the ones in the hospital. I did not. Almost like understanding quantum physics. So that's why he's so mad, Jay. He's like, fucking triangles is way too hard in this toy. And he starts munching that guy. And fucking Lord, like, there's like, so we got Lord Friendzone left in the room. And then this other poor schmuck, Chad, little chubby guy. And the thing is, Lord Friendzone, he gets out of the room first and he just closes the door. And the guy goes, wait, you have time to get me out. And Lord Friendzone's going, no. And, like, he killed that guy for no reason, chat. There's, like, no reason why he let that man die. It's just to establish that Lord Friendzone is evil. He's very evil, chat. And he watches this thing eat the other guy. It's so stupid. Goddamn triangles. So Bobby's like, all right, well, this is working. Also, fucking Lord Friendzone has got, what? Josh. 7th Facade with the 2 gifted subs. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate that. Welcome to stream. Augustin and Cake. Congratulations. You know the promos are 5 minutes along with ad-free viewing. Ooh, love that theme, chat. That's Revan's theme. That is the theme of Knights of the Republic. One of the greatest Star Wars games, one of the greatest RPGs of all time. Thank you, Josh. Welcome. Hope you're doing very well today, my man. Good to see you. So also, he has like a Lord Friendzone has kind of like a overseer type guy, and he's just prototypical. I do whatever Albert Wesker says. He's like, listen, man, you got to stop doing all this weird shit. You got to stop feeding people to the Bob Zombie. And Lord Friendzone goes, oh, I should stop? Because then he opens up, like, because they have the shutters on the room with the Bob Zombie. And he opens up the shutters, and he's just been feeding Bob all these scientists, like, all day. And they all have matching uniforms now, too. They're all in gray, like overalls. I always thought that was funny. The zombies are wearing gray overalls. And he's like, oh my God, what are you feeding? Stop feeding Bob zombies or stop feeding him scientists. I can't help it, man. Whatever these zombies are, though, I made the T-virus, like, even more potent and it has, like, greater mutative abilities. And he's like, that's the opposite of what we want. He goes, listen, man, science. I don't know what the hell's going to happen sometimes. You just got to fucking inject people with stuff and put them in with a Bob zombie. I don't know what to do. So he's got that going for him. He's like, well, Albert Wesker's not going to approve of this, okay? He's like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit, man. It's my last movie I want to be in anyway. And so eventually, chat, we cut back to the, oh, by the way, there was a scene earlier where Alice saw a crow eating zombie flesh. She goes, that's probably not good. And that's set up for, like, this moment here, chat. Then we cut back to the caravan, Claire Redfield's caravan. Everyone's sleeping, which I'm like, that is probably not a good thing to do where everyone's sleeping in a zombie apocalypse. You want to have a couple of people awake, you know, like looking and shit. And, like, they could, when something bad's going to happen, they'll be aware. But every single person in the caravan is asleep. I'm like, that's dumb. And yeah, one of the girls who, her name is Kmart, chat. It's not Ashley Ashford. It's not that one. I'll tell you why I always thought that was Ashley Ashford. We saw her in the second film, chat, and it's like, oh, this is her a little more grown up. It's like, no, there's a reason why Ashley's not with him anymore. And so she's like, I hear like a pecking. She hears like some pecking, a goddamn woodpecker outside. She opens up the car door, and it's a bird. It's a big old crow, chat. And she goes, it's scary. And she closes the door. Claire Redfield's like, wow, what are you talking about? And she's like, the birds. And she's like, oh no, the birds have been feeding on zombie flesh. That's why they're all weird and gross and shit now. It's like zombie birds sound like just incredibly scary, chat. I mean, that's like, you know what, that would fuck. Birds are, I don't like birds to begin with. I'm not a bird guy. Never been a bird guy. Especially like fucking, there's these birds, grackles. They're grackles, chat, which are a more annoying bird than a regular blackbird. They're just, they always at the HEB, always at the grocery store, chat. I hear them, like, caw, this is a very annoying bird. Also, I hate these other birds, chat. They're in my apartment complex. I don't know what the fuck they are, but I call them the shit birds, chat, because they literally make nests out of their own feces. They make it out of their own shit, chat, and that's where they birth their babies in their own shit. It's gross and smells terrible. It smells terrible, chat. I hate it. I hate it. So, so the birds, they're like, all right, we gotta get the fuck out. They all start attacking everybody, chat. But at this point, they're all going for the bus, because they like, that's where all that foremost target identify. That's where all the sweet, delicious children meat is. I want that children meat, and they all go for the bus, chat. And the bus driver, he crashes because you can't see because all the blackbirds are attacking. And boom, the bus crashes. And it's like, that's not good. And Claire Redfield, she turns around. She's like, we got to save the kids. They got to save that children meat. And she drives back. And also there's this other guy too. Like there's characters among them which they have a good dynamic with. There's like the cowboy guy. I don't know their names. The guy cowboy guy who's like the sharpshooter. He's pretty cool. You also got TV Kid. You got TV Kid in there. He's expert on the TVs and the telecommunications and shit. And they tell TV Kid to get back up there. And they sent some other people over there too. And now you just got Betty and bus driver guy. They're just holding back the window, check the windshield, because the crows are trying to get in. And meanwhile, they opened up the back of the bus. And TV Kid, he's just leading all these people into his little TV car. But the fucking crows get some of these kids, though, Jack. Kids die. I forgot. I was like, wow, kids die in this film. Because you see this one flock of crows, and they just come down. They just eat the fuck out of this kid. That kid's gone. That sweet children meat, they ate him. And, you get this one guy, it's kind of cool scene. You get this one guy who jumps up on the bus. There's a flamethrower up there, like a biped flamethrower. He just starts burning all the birds. That's pretty cool. They get him too, though. They go ahead and get him too. And then Carlos, eventually they get all the people they can in the thing. They get all those people. And then TV Kid, he drives away, chat. One of the kiddos, though, they get caught underneath the car, so they're like, oh, I'm hiding from the birds and shit. But eventually, like, Mike Epps, he's like, Betty, come on, Betty. But she's been pecked and eaten, so she's already infected. Bus driver guy, he's been pecked and eaten and shit, so it's not good for him. And she's like, no. Betty does the sacrifice, chat. She fucking closed the door, and she's like, I can't let these things attack you. They kill her. They kill the bus driver guy. They kill flamethrower guy on top of the car. Carlos, he goes for the one kid underneath the car. But the thing is, chat, when the flamethrower guy, he got picked up and pecked to death in the sky, the flamethrower kind of like, it shifts. And it's coming right towards Carlos and the girl. And Carlos is like, fuck, I'm about to be burned to death. And he uses his body to cover the girl. But, oh, it's okay, chat, because then this invisible force field forms around him. And who's the person, chat, who made that force field? Mila Jovovich. She's back. And she goes, don't worry, boyfriend, I got you. And then she summons the powers of telekinesis, chat. And she creates a bubble of fire, and she blasts all the birds. It's actually a cool scene. You saw this in the trailer. I actually dig this scene. And she uses this telekinesis bubble flame, and it burns all the birds when they all die. And Carlos is like, oh my God, it's so hot. She goes, hello, boyfriend. And they smooch. And everyone comes on back, and everyone's like, yay, Alice and shit. And then, they have the umbrella satellite dishes and stuff, and they're like, that's her, that's Alice. We can go get her. And good old Lord Friendzone goes to Albert Wesker. He goes, hey, the satellite dish picked her up, and there's like a 65% chance that's definitely her. And Albert Wesker goes, well, I'd like it if it was 100%, but he's like, it's like 65%. Listen, man, like there's not a lot of people left on the surface, okay? It's probably her. And Albert Wesker goes, nah, we're going to wait. We'll talk about it the next meeting in like a week. He's like, I need that now. He's like, can't do it. Can't help you. Sorry. He's like, he's so mad. He's so mad about that situation. But eventually, though, we come back to the camp. Everyone's super thankful that Alice saved them with her telekinetic bubble flame ball. And she's kind of by herself, though. She's kind of by herself. She's talking with people and stuff. Claire Redfield comes over to her and she goes, hey, listen, just want to let you know that everyone is like really thankful for your help. I mean, seriously, you saved it. A lot of people would have died without you, okay? You saved Carlos. You saved that kid. Really do appreciate you. But that was fucking crazy and weird. And she goes, yeah, I got telekinesis. She goes, well, that's kind of scary. She goes, it's kind of scary. People tend to die when they're around me. And when she should have said that, when people tend to die around me, I'd be like, okay, you know what? We're gonna give you some fucking beef stew. We're gonna give you a beef stew, and we're gonna give you some cream corn, and we can send you on your way. At that point, like, we gotta get fucking going. It's like, so, because that's a warning. She said that, like, okay, we got to go. But no, they're like, no, you know what? How about you join us? We could use your help. Well, that's, in hindsight, that's not going to be good. And eventually, she go back to Carlos, and Carlos would get some dialogue where it's like, oh, I missed you. Me and Mike Epps, like, really missed you and stuff. And we learned that she left the group, like, years ago. Now, chat, that's all the explanation we get in the original movie. I learned through Wikipedia, through the magic of Wikipedia, chat, that the reason why she left the group in the book, at the very least, in Extinction, is because, as you recall, chat, also, she wakes up, she comes to, and she meets a girl named Kmart, and who I always thought was Ashley Ashford. It's not. It's not the daughter of Dr. Ashford, chat. It's just a girl they literally found at Kmart And she said, I rather have the corporate name of Kmart than my regular name. I hate my regular name, so everyone calls me Kmart because that's where they originally found me. I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird and sad. She also gives her a boondoggle. She's a boondoggle girl. I'm going to call her the boondoggle girl, Chad. Sounds better than Kmart. And I always thought that was Ashley Ashford, but it's not, apparently. So, Chad, what happened in, remember at the end of Apocalypse? Well, watch my review, by the way. It's on, I don't know if it's on YouTube yet. It eventually will be. But in the at the end of the film, we learned that she's kind of like a clone, I guess, or something. She's the original. I don't remember. She's the original clone, I think. And she has telekinetic powers and all that. But we learn at the very end that Umbrella has control of her, and they can see through her. Thank you. Who is this individual? Oh, it was just hard, hairy 72. Thank you for the follow. Welcome stream. Hope you're having a very nice Monday evening. You're my Huckleberry. And so we learned that, like, Umbrella's able to see through her eyes, because they have, like, little nano machines and shit. And also they could control her, chat. And I guess just, that they just stopped using that at one point or whatever, between 2 and 3. Well, in the novelization, chat, remember when in the movie they take control of her, it's like, what's going to happen? And Ashley Ashford asks, what's wrong? Thank you so much, Batches, for hosting me. Ashley Ashford says, what's wrong? In the novelization, chat, Mila Jovovich grabs a shotgun and fucking blows Ashley Ashford's face off. She shoots that little girl in the head and blows her head off, chat. That's what happens. And that's the inciting moment where they like, all right, you gotta get the fuck out of here. You just blew a little girl's head off, chat. Because Lord Friendzone took control of her and he wanted to eliminate, like, I don't know, fucking Ashley Ashford for some reason. I guess she was source of T-virus. I don't know. I don't understand. I don't remember the reason, chat, but he fucking killed that little girl. And that's like, that would have been an interesting dynamic to set up in this film, chat, but because she doesn't know when she's going to turn. Like, that would have been actually interesting, but they never go on that. They just kind of like, we use it occasionally. So it's very dumb. It's very dumb. Because she's under a yeah, mwah, she really is. So she blew that face. We never know what happened to her. Ashley Ashford never returns in the films again. And I mean, we can only assume in the movies that she just died at one point. She just died. Maybe they left her somewhere. Honestly, Chet, she probably did die because, as we know, she needs the constant injections, I believe, of the anti-serum. The antivirus, not anti-serum, no, the antivirus, or she'll become a zombie. And so they obviously just ran out of it, and she probably returned a zombie, and they had to kill her. Something like that happened. But that was what the original novels did. I was like, that's actually kind of cool. And at this point, it's just like, nah, I'm just gonna hang out with you guys. Also, by the way, I found this book where this guy wanted to go in Alaska because he heard some radio signals, and I think we should all go to Alaska. And everyone's like, fuck, hell yeah, let's go with this weird telekinetic telepathic girl who appeared out of nowhere. Let's follow her. And Clarefield's like, well, wait a minute, guys, maybe we should read the book. Come on, Claire, let's go to Alaska. Claire goes, okay, we'll go to Alaska. They do a vote, chat. They ask all the surviving people, which is a bunch of children. And listen, I'd be like, I don't care what as long as you feed me and make sure I'm not dead by the end of the week, I'll follow you anywhere, baby. And so like, yeah, let's go to Alaska. It's like, woohoo! Matt Shields, thank you. The antivirus. That's what it's called. It's called the antivirus, chat. Thank you for the 5 minutes. And so, like, they're all saying, like, Alaska's a very far away. We're in, like, Utah. We're in Utah right now. We're in, like, right outside of Salt Lake City. So, I mean, we need some supplies. We need some gasoline. And they all take a track of the resources. We don't have enough gasoline. Maybe we can go like 100 more miles. And they go, what's that? Where's that going to take us? What about all these gas stations? Alice tells them, I've been to all those gas stations. Those have been picked clean. There's not a single drop of gasoline. And, you know, they're like, what are we going to do? And Claire Redfield goes, Vegas, baby. We got to go to Vegas. But it's like, we can't go to Vegas. The cities are crawling with the zombinos. We can't do this. Like, we got to do it, man. We got to go there. And they're like, fine, Jesus, okay. Let's head out there. And so everyone in the caravan gets moving and grooving, and they head out to Las Vegas. Meanwhile, Mike Epps is looking more and more zombified as it goes along, chat. That wound is like pulsating and festering. He's got big old dark circles around his eyes. He's going, he's not looking good. Has not yet revealed that he's infected. Very selfish. Eventually, chat, we cut back to good old Lord Friendzone. And he's like, all right, I want to go after Alice. She's with this group. We're gonna go after him. It's what's gonna happen. And so I'm going to repurpose all of Albert Wesker's like dialogue in the film so far, and basically create an approval message so I have access to all Umbrella assets, basically. And so he it's so bad. He concocts this really terrible sounding fake Albert Wesker where it's like, I approve of Lord Friendzone's operation. Those are my orders. Like, it's just like, that just does not sound like him. But it's like, okay. And so he casts that message shed. He gets 2 helicopters, and he gets a whole big old bin. Gets a big old bin of Zombinos chat, and they head out to Vegas to intercept Alice chat so they can start poking her with stuff. And so eventually we cut back to the group, and they're entering Las Vegas, chat. And guess what? There's no zombies there because the city, chat. The city has been completely engulfed by the desert has taken it back, chat. And Alice, she's like, I guess that flock of crows, they just came in here, the blackbirds, and they just picked all this clean. There's no more zombies. Like, oh, this is going to be easy. And so they're driving through this, like, where's the gas station? Mike Epps goes, I know. It's down the block near the Caesar. And I'm like, how do you know that, Mike Epps? Because I lost $2,000 here 10 years ago. I know exactly where that gas station is because I ate a very mild bean burrito, and I shat myself for 2 days straight in my hotel room. He goes, that's a funny story. And Mike Epps just looks at, like, the guy he's driving next to. He just looks like fucking death. He's not looking too good, chat. He's like, yeah, it was a great time. You can tell he's turning as we speak. Eventually, though, chat, they get to the gas station. But there's a big old bin. There's a big old giant bin in front of them. We got to move that bin. We got to get that bin out of the way. And it's like, all right, let's get the cables. Cowboy man, go up the Eiffel Tower. Because they have like a fake Eiffel Tower there, chat, and like keep watch for it. He goes, okay. I like Cowboy Guy, chat. He's pretty fun. He goes up there, looking, watching shit. And, Carlos, everyone else, they go towards the bin. But Alice, her goddamn Mila Jovovich senses are tingling. And she goes over, chat. She hears something. She goes, back up, back up, back up. And they all back up. They all pull out their weapons, chat. And the fucking bin opens. And it's the Bob. It's Bob the zombie, chat. Except now it's a bunch of Bobs. It's a bunch of Bob zombies. And they all attack everyone, chat. And they all start shooting. But these guys are much tougher, okay? They're like the Crimson Heads from Resident Evil 1, chat. Very much like the Crimson Heads. And it takes a whole bunch of bullets to take them down, chat. A whole bunch of headshots. And they swarm the group, and they just start eating a bunch of people. Like, they did not expect this, chat. They let their guard down. Never let your guard down in this type of situation. And now Mila Jovovich is like, don't worry, guys, I'm here. And she activates her Mila Jovovich powers, which we all know, Chair, telekinesis, telepathy, flippy jumps in slow motion, and she starts taking on a lot of these guys. Okay, a lot of them get taken out. And also some of the people are being badass. Mike Epps, he goes the boondoggle girl. They hide in the car, chat. They're hiding in the car and everything. Carlos, he's shooting. Claire Redfield, she's saving people. A lot of people are dying. Like a lot of no-name people. A lot of the kids, they're all getting munched on, chat. A lot of kid death in this film. They're all dying. At one point, Mila Jovovich is like, I stop eating that kid. Like, if you have a zombie, you have a Bob zombie literally holding this poor girl, like, up like this, just eating her stomach. It's like, oh my God. Multipass. And he's like, stop eating that little girl. You could have helped her sooner. And she starts cutting people's, the Bob the Zombie's heads off and chat. But then, oh no, we cut to another scene, chat, where Lord Friendzone and his boys, they're watching this take place. They're watching it through her eyes. And they're like, okay, shut her down. And using their satellite dish, chat, in space, they shut her down. So Mila Jovovich just stops acting. She just goes, So it's like not much difference. And so at this point, she's not doing her telekinesis, telepathy, flippy jumps, and slow motion powers, and everyone's getting overrun, chat. Clarifield's getting her ass kicked and everything. She's trying to save people. It's hard. Carlos, he managed to fuck a lot of people up, though, chat. He shoots a lot of Bob the zombies at this point, but it's rough. It's rough. Eventually, this one Bob zombie starts to try to get the boondoggle girl with Mike Epps, and they're like, because they ran out of ammo and shit. And eventually, good old Carlos, he shoots that zombie, so it's okay. And he and like, while this is happening, though, chat, fucking Mike Epps, he turns into a zombie, chat. He turns into a zombie before our eyes, and he goes for the girl. He tries to eat Boondoggle Girl. And Carlos goes, hey, Mike Epps, how you doing, brother? He's like about to high-five chat, but then Mike Epps goes, and he bites him. He bites Carlos's arm, and he's like, and he fucking throws Mike Epps out of the car, chat, and he shoots him. It's like, why did you do that? This is what'll happen, chat. You have to listen, if you get bit, Okay, you gotta tell someone. It's like I'd be honest. It's like I got bit, guys. You know, like either shoot me now, or I'm gonna say goodbye, and then you can shoot me, or just leave me and I'll do it myself. Actually, no, because it'd be a waste of ammunition, it'd be a waste of a resource. So let me say goodbye, everybody. And I'll do. I'm not gonna even let you guys. I'll do it myself. I'll fucking do it, chat. Don't be selfish in the zombie apocalypse, okay? It's a goddamn group effort, and because of this, chat, Mike Epps put not only Boondoggle Girl in danger, but he also bit Carlos, which is also fucking death sentence. How are they gonna get the fucking antidote? How are they gonna get the antivirus, chat? All these are good questions, but through the power of bad writing. Through the power of bad writing, chat, Mila Jovovich manages to gain control of the satellite dish from space and blows it up. She blows it up, chat. Or at least a part of it blows up. And she comes back, chat, which is not much difference. And Lord Friendzone's like, fine, why should she shut down still? We don't know. The satellite must be on the fritz. Like, well, do it. And she just starts fucking running shit. She's got that Tom Cruise just run. And there's like, well, where's she go? But we realize she's going to them because they're like right on a building, like across the street from everything where all this is taking place. Also, by the way, fucking TV Kid, he got eaten too. He got eaten real good. I feel sorry for TV Kid, chap. Fuck, I think him and Boondoggle Girl, they had something. I think they were smooching at one point, and she just watched him get munched on. It was not good. It was very sad. Claire Redfield was very upset, too. And Cowboy, oh, by the way, Cowboy Guy, remember he was in the Eiffel Tower, chat? These zombies know how to fucking climb, and he tried to save this one girl, and it didn't work out, and he was getting munched on, chat. And maybe that girl did survive. I don't know. I think maybe she lived, chat. I think she maybe was one of the survivors. And anyway, he fucking just flings himself off, and he kills the zombies, and he kills himself. So badass death though on Cowboy Guy's part, chat. He had a really badass death. He was a good. I liked him. He was a fun character. But I would just Mila Jovovich. And like, get her online. They fucking get her online, chat, but they don't have control over it. You can see through her eyes. And she's running up the stairwell. It's like, where is she? And then they're like, oh, shit. Because then she opens the door, and the thing they see is themselves. And they're like, oh! Shut her down! And then she starts coming in there, chat, and she just starts blasting. She starts blasting the computer guy. She blasts the guard, chat. She blasts the guy that was just standing there. And Lord Frenzo, he's already taken off. He's like, ah, shit, oh, God. Gets to the helicopter pilot. He's like, hey, get me out of here. And all of a sudden, Bob Zombie. And a Bob Zombie, chat, glams on to good old Lord Frenzo. Goes, ah! He screams. He gets a very girlish scream. Ah! He bites him, chat. Helicopter guy shoots him. They drag Lord Frenzo back on the thing, and he's like, and he starts panicking. He's like, oh my God, I need the antivirus, take me back. And they take him back, chat. Mila Jovovich, she's like, just about to, she's going to shut him out of the air. She's aiming her guns up there, but she stops. And Chlorophyll goes, why didn't you shoot the copter? She goes, because that's our fucking ticket out of here. That's our ticket to Alaska, that helicopter. And since we lost about 3/4 of the cast so far, I'll probably be able to use that helicopter. She's like, cool. And so they head back to the scene, chat, and they realize, like, oh, a lot of people dead. I think the only people who are left, chat, are Boondoggle Girl. Boondoggle Girl's left. Carlos, who's been bitten. And some kids who weren't eaten. And Claire, of course. And that's it. Everyone else is gone. And they're like, shit, this was bad. And so eventually they follow the helicopter back, chat, and they see that it's landed in a facility. It's like, oh, okay, but it's surrounded by zombies. Like, how are we going to get through there? And Carlos, he just starts... He's coughing. She's coughing up blood. And Mila Jovovich is like, Carlos, we can get in there. We can get the antivirus. You're going to be okay. And he even says, like, listen, you and I both know that I'm too far gone at this point. It's not going to work. Okay? I'm like the Michelle Rodriguez now of the situation. It's not going to work on me. So the least I could do is be useful to you guys right now. And I have a fucking plan on how to get through there. And I'll give it a shot. Like, Carlos, the guy that played Carlos in both movies, he's a good actor. I thought he was one of the highlights of the second film, and he's good here for what he's given. It's like he's having fun. He knows what he's in, and he embraces it. Chase being, hey, the big bad action star. He does a good job here. And what they do, Chad, is they have a big old gasoline truck. And he gets in the front in the goddamn truck park, chat, and he's just loaded himself up with dynamite, just dynamite and grenades and shit. C4, he's like, hey, let's fucking go, and he just fucking floors it on this goddamn thing, chat. Starts hitting all these zombies, but eventually just so much meat and cartilage and bone, chat, and squish that the thing just fucking keels over because of him. He fucking falls over, chat, skids and everything. He's like, oh, God. And he notices in the upper part of the car, chat, in the window, I don't know what's called, the window flipper, the window sun flipper. And he notices that there's a little fucking blunt. There's a little doobie. There's some MJ up there. He goes, Mike Epps, you son of a bitch. I'll see you in hell in a second. You were hiding this from me. You were holding out on me. And he takes this shit, chat, puts it in his mouth. Ooh. And he's like, oh, no, but then the zombies start coming at him, though. They're breaking through the car. He's like, ah, shit. And he gets his little, his Zippo out, little Zippo lighter, chat. Lights the dynamite right next to him, like right. It's like right here. He's got it in a headlock. He's like, here we go. And he fucking lights the doobie, chat. And he fucking flows the Zippo away. He goes, oh, that's some good shit. Boom! And he explodes. And it fucking explodes, chat. It fucking explodes. The zombie sends there was so much C4 near him, it just sends a fucking shockwave across the desert. Even the people underneath the goddamn facility felt that. And they're like, oh, go, 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 go. And fucking, not Jill, but Mila Jovovich, Claire Redfield, and all the kids, Boondoggle, they all get through there. And you know, at this point, Mila Jovovich, she's like, get on the helicopter. They left the helicopter there because they were in a hurry. And like, everyone gets in the helicopter, and, you know, fucking Claire's like, come with us. She's like, nah, I got to fucking finish this. I got to take care of Lord Friendzone. She goes, all right, see you in maybe one of the sequels. I have no idea. I don't remember. And so they fly off to Alaska, chat. Meanwhile, we cut back to the facility, and good old Albert Wesker's boy, who's kind of like in charge of the facility, kind of. I don't know. He's kind of like the overseer of the facility. He's placed Lord Friendzone under house arrest. He goes to see him, chat. He's like, open up the door. He's like, all right, we'll get him. Opens up the door, chat. And Lord Friendzone, he's just been injecting himself with the antivirus, chat, and it's not working. He's looking worse. He's used about like 10 vials of the antivirus. And the guy goes in there, and overseer's like, how many of this did you use? He's like, one more. Hey, one more will do it. And he injects himself. He's like, that's not working, is it? He goes, no, it's not. He's like, listen, you disobeyed orders. You faked the voice of Albert Wesker, okay? I just got a call from good old Albert, okay? Good old Al. And listen, man, he gave me orders to liquidate you. He's like, liquidate? You can't liquidate me. I'm the future. I'm the future of Umbrella. He goes, you ain't shit. And he pulls out his gun and boom, he blows him away. Jay shoots him. And he fucking, Lord Friendzone falls over. He's dead. And he's like, all right, fucking take a sample of his blood and throw his body out there for the rest. But then the guard's like, sir, look out! And he fucking's like, what? He turns around, chat, and Lord Friendzone has gotten up, chat, and he has become hentai! And he has a hentai arm, and he goes, bah! And he fires his hentai hand at the overseer, chat, and the hentai goes into his eyes, gouges his eyes, goes right in their eyes, mouth, ears, and it's all the hentai, chat. All the hentai there ever was is inside that man right now. And he kills him, and these guards start shooting at it. And then Lord Friendzone uses hentai again. And so he is no longer, chat, he is no longer Lord Friendzone. That name will not be used at this point. He is now Hentai Man. So Hentai Man has taken over. Cabs are low. Chris needs to do story time for I absolutely do. And that's, yes, Steve, he becomes the tyrant. He looks like the tyrant from the original Resident Evil game, which is like, oh, that's cool. Because he has like the heart on the outside and everything like that, which in hindsight, big design flaw, a bit of a weakness right there. But he looks like the tyrant from the first movie, or the first game. And so at this point, Hentai Man just begins fucking everybody up, chat. It's not looking good down there. And eventually, though, we cut back to Mila Jovovich, chat. She goes in there, and she's fucking elevator just comes up. It's like someone brought the elevator up to her, chat. She's like, oh, great. And she goes down there, chat. Oh, elevator wall, the fucking door opens up, and the facility just looks like it got hit by a Hentai Man, chat, as you expect, because there is a Hentai Man running around in the facility. And she's looking around, just blood everywhere. It's kind of cool. I'll give it this. I love that they did use practical sets in a lot of these early movies, Chad. From the first one and in this one, it's like, I like this. This is an actual set. It looks like a laboratory, underground. It's cool. I'll admit that. And so she's looking around and stuff. And she's like, this is not good. This is bad. But eventually, though, the little CGI girl pops her. She goes, ah. And she goes, hello, Mila Jovovich. I'm here to help you. She says, I knew your sister. She was a bitch. And she goes, my sister was going, she was programmed and she was following her programming. But I'm a newer model. I'm here to help you. She's like, what could you help me with? She goes, listen, fucking hentai man has been running amok. And I'm keeping him isolated in the lower levels, okay? But I'm not gonna be able to keep him there for now. He's gonna find a way out. He is becoming more powerful by the minute. You need to use your telekinesis and telepathy and flippy jumps and slow motion powers to defeat the hentai man. Could you help me? And she goes, why not? Let's fucking do it. And she goes, great. I'm going to open up the door for you. Good luck. Good luck. You have my sympathies. I see what you did there, Resident Evil. A little alien reference. And she goes in there, chat. And she's walking around and shit. And eventually she ends up also always out of her peripheral vision, chat. You see the hentai man right out of her peripheral vision all the time. But eventually she goes to like the main laboratory. She sees like all these guys have been impaled via their butts on these like, I don't know how they got these stakes. He got these metallic stakes from out of nowhere. Or maybe that's his hentai. Maybe the hentai becomes like super hard and rigid. I don't know. And they're just impaled on hentai spikes. And so she's walking around, and she sees the Alice clone in the bubble. She sees a little Alice. She walks over to a chat. She goes, beep, bop, boop, boop, boop. But it's okay. It's like, she's like, oh, it kind of like had an effect on the Alice clone. She's like, whoa. She's all weirded out. And then, oh no, the hentai man, he jumps out, chat. And he like pushes Alice out of the way. She goes, ah! Stop that. And she takes she has like a machete, chat. She throws the machete at the hentai man. He goes, ah! And he runs away, chat, because it hurt his hentai. And he runs. And also, while this is all happening, she falls back. She hits the bubble. And Alice, the clone Alice, comes out of it. And she's just like, so she can't breathe, and she just dies like in her arms. She's like, oh my God, this is fucking weird. I'm seeing myself die. And she just dies. And she's like, well, I got to take care of the hentai man. So she takes off her jacket, chat. She puts it over the Alice clone. She goes, "This is PG-13, okay? They can't see anything. PG-13." And she runs after the hentai man, chat. And he took the machete out of himself, and he begins healing, chat. He can't die apparently, but she goes after him. And eventually, she finds the machete, and she puts it back in, and then she's run off the facility. But then, oh my God, she turns a corner, and she's back in the mansion, chat, from Resident Evil 1. She's like looking around. She's like, what the fuck? This is crazy. This is goddamn deja vu. And then, boom, the hentai man appears, chat. And he attacks her. And he begins talking. And he's like, you know what, Alice? You know what? I thought you were the future. I'm the future now. Look at me. I'm beautiful. It's like, you are not. And she's like, you ain't shit. And she does a boom. She does like a telekinetic attack, chat. She fucking force pushes him out through a wall. But that was enough, chat, because he too has telekinetic abilities. He uses an even bigger explosion, and it hits her. She's like, oh man, there's nothing else. I gotta outsmart this guy. And so what she does is, chat, she runs into the laser room. And the hentai man follows her. Meanwhile, chat, we come back to the laboratory where the Alice clone is alive. I guess she just momentarily died, but she came to, and she's like, she doesn't know the hell's happening, but she's like, well, she's trying to get her boundaries, chat. She's trying to understand what's happening around her. Eventually, though, we come back to the Alice and hentai man. And hentai man, he does another force push, and this forces Alice. Oh, actually, before that, there was another scene when the hentai man tries to literally put his tentacles inside of her. She goes, I don't think so, and she cuts his tentacles off with her machete. That also happens in the scene. It's kind of cool. But then they're in the laser room, chat, and she's like all the way at the end. And he's like, I'm the future, Alice. I always thought you would be, but I will bring a... It always comes down to this shit. Every time when the guy, like, mutates himself, he's like, you know what? Forget curing and all myself and everything like that. I'm just going to create a race of me. And we're all going to live happily ever after. It never works out, though. And her comeback, chat, she just starts really terrible fake laugh. He's like, why are you laughing at me? And she goes... No, you're not the future. You're just another asshole. And his fucking face, chat, even through all the makeup, he goes, that hurt me. You can find is online, chat. Watch the clip. And he is just like, I can't believe it. And she goes, and it won't matter. There won't be any future for both of us because we're both going to die down here. And he goes, what? Now, chat, he should know. He's in the laser room. He's seen this happen how many times at this point? But right behind him, chat, the fucking grid with the lasers activate, and they come right at him. He goes, I should have seen this coming! And they fucking laser him, chat, and you're not going to come back from that. No matter, you may be able to heal. You ain't going to heal from being a whole bunch of cubes. And it goes right through him, chat. He's fucking dead. And then, it's going to hit Alice too, but it does. It stops at the very last second. And who stopped it, chat? Who's the one that stopped it? Clone Alice. The other clone Alice. She stopped it. She goes, yeah, I helped. And it's like, why? maybe because she also has the memories of Alice, so she knows the technology, but it's like, okay, he's dead. And it's like, wow, that was weird. And she's like, yeah. And then we cut to Japan. We're in Japan now. And we go underneath the streets of Japan, chat. And we're in the facility. It's Albert Wesker's facility in Japan. It's very appropriate, Capcom. I think there's a Capcom reference on the streets. I think you see something like Biohazard or something. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And that's where Albert Wesker is. And he goes, yeah, we lost contact with the North American facility for 17 hours. So we can assume that facility has fallen. So all research, we're going to concentrate on, fucking trying to find Alice. Okay, getting this cure ready. Okay, making more monsters, making more hentai. See, Chad, the only thing that Albert Wesker wanted was hentai. And that's what the guy actually ended up giving him, Lord Friendzone. But he didn't tell him. I'm proud of you, Lord Friendzone. You made yourself in the hentai. This is all I wanted, by the way. But then, chat, who pops on the good old hologram? Fucking Al. She goes, oh, you don't have to find me. I'm coming for you. And Albert Wesker's like, oh, God. He's scared. And she's like, I'm coming for you, motherfuckers. And she ends signal, chat. And she's hanging out with her other Alice clone. The CGI does not look good, chat, because the other Alice has like a green halo above her head. It's like, that didn't age well. But then, chat, we see, I'm going to bring some friends. Guess what she says to Albert Wesker? I'm going to bring some friends with me, too. And we cut back to the facility, chat. And we see all of these bubbles with Alice in them. All the Alice clones, they're all coming awake, chat, just like dozens upon dozens, if not hundreds of them. And it's like, and then cut. It's Resident Evil: Extinction, chat. That's the movie. So, I hope you enjoyed the review, chat. I think that was a very fun one. It was a good time. Jaber, welcome to stream. Just wanted to drop in and say, hey, show my support. Haven't played God of War yet, so I understand, man. It's a great game. Play it, so then you can watch me. Then you can watch my VODs, Jaybird. Highly recommend it. Great game. But yes, chat, that is Resident Evil: Extinction. Hope you had a good time with the review. It was pretty fun. I liked it. And I honestly, chat, listen, this movie, yeah, it has some dumb moments, as I said before. There's some bad acting, some bad dialogue, but I think this is the best of the series so far. No, it is the best of the series, at least what I've seen. I don't know if the other ones, anything's better after this. I have no idea. Steve, bravo, thank you, Steve, for the 200 videos. That was so kind of you. Appreciate that. I don't know if these get better, but this is my favorite one. This is a lot of fun. It's just enjoyable. It's an enjoyable dumb action film, and I liked it just for that. And there's actually I like the sets they use. I like some of the action sequences. They're really good. The makeup was really fun, chat. There's the CGI like of any film from the mid 2000s. It's never gonna age well. But the makeup effects were actually very, very good. And there were some funny moments too. Just some fun, like unintentionally funny. It's like, maybe it was intended to be funny. I don't know. I had a good time with this, chat. So yeah, I give it it's a high rental. It's a high rental, much like the original Resident Evil, chat, which I think this is even a little bit better than.